Time now for the Midwest Regional. First of two today, both are elimination games in Westfield, Indiana. As you take a look at Webb City, Missouri, trying to get its dance steps down, along with Grandview, Iowa. These are the two teams on the bubble right now, needing a win. This is the modified double elimination format, so anybody without a loss is in great shape, ready to play in the semifinals of this particular bracket. While the losers, well, they're playing for their lives. Good afternoon and welcome back to the northern part of Indianapolis. Jim Barber, John Gregory back with you here on ESPN. This is Elimination Tuesday, and John, how does the mindset for the managers today change from the opening game to today?
Well, a perfect example was this morning when we saw Ohio come out and play more small ball. That's what they didn't do that all year, but they said after the ball game that's what it took for them to get that victory today, so they changed their philosophy a little bit. They were able to eliminate the team, and now they're still in the ball game. So that's the way they need to do it today. So it's really whatever it takes mentality today.
Both of these teams that are in today's game were very competitive in their first games. Gage Chapman was able to pitch well for Missouri in the opening game against Minnesota. Had just one bad inning, still got 6 strikeouts in those 4 innings.
Yeah, and they're going to have good pitching today from any of these guys out there. We saw the same thing from Ohio earlier today. Got a really good performance. He had one yesterday. He's a good player for this team.
And late last night, Brody Watson struck out 10 in the first 5 innings, and up at 75 miles an hour was really dealing early in the game.
Well, see that 12 strikeouts on the day, two base on balls in 5 innings pitched. This guy is big and strong, and we expect to see him at the plate today. Maybe he can do it offensively for this team.
And he's got his manager, Matt Coonert, back from suspension. Iowa and Missouri, both on the bubble, playing to move on. This is Drew Vonderhaar, age 12, big fan of the St. Louis Cardinals, and Yadi Molina, who stars with them at the catcher position. He's got a curve and he's got a change. It can be pretty wicked up there. And the question today is, how effective will that be, John?
Well, it'll be as effective as if he can throw some strikes out there, and he's going to have to do it with that curveball. That is his plus pitch. It's his out pitch, and we'll see if he's able to do that against this Iowa team today.
Which will be led off by Connor Duwan, the second baseman. Maddox O'Connor will bat second. Blake Larson third for a team that had 4 hits in its opening game. Then Brody Watson fourth. Alex Stewart, the third baseman, is fifth. Kobe Coonert, the catcher, will bat sixth. He was 0 for 2 last night. Braden Schott, the left fielder, is batting seventh. Jace Embry is the right fielder. He'll hit eighth. And Matthew McCray Jr. is the ninth batter. He had one of those 4 hits. Ready to play. Mother Nature continues to shine its face on Westfield. One game in, despite torrential rain late last night and early in the morning. Rain has been forecast for late this afternoon and tonight. John, even though I may have jinxed it, so far so good.
I think you're in good shape. It's weather looking better as we move on through the day, so good things are going to happen.
Connor DeWong to start this game. I think as long as you credit Mother Nature in the same sentence, the gods look upon you favorably.
Yes.
In terms of whether you're jinxing the situation or not. We'll find out anyway. Maddox O'Connor to follow. A ball and a strike. Headed to center field, base hit. Cohen Epler gave it all he had, but DeWong is on base to start the Iowa first.
A good start for Iowa or for Missouri as they get their first base runner on here, and that's what you want, an early start swinging the bats. This is an aggressive team. They scored a lot of runs getting here. That's what they expected to do once they got here. Take a look at the equipment malfunction here behind the plate. That's quickly fixed. We're going to go back at it, but we'll see how this Iowa team approaches things. Do they move guys along? Do they try to get a big inning early or get that early lead? We've seen every team but one win when they get that early lead or that first runner across home plate. They've been able to win every game except for one, so that's an important statistic so far.
Yeah, just the Ohio-Indiana game was the lone exception on a snap throw back to first. Runner DeWong, who has 2 hits in the regional, is safe. In that game, Indiana trailed 3-1, got a 5-run third, and went on to win 8-5. Quick turnaround for Missouri, which played, or rather Iowa, which played late last night. Maddox O'Connor is 1 for 3 in the regional with a strikeout. Blake Larson, the pitcher, will follow. Towards center field, hit on a dime, right at Young, 2 outs, or 1 out. So Andrew Young, perfect position, perfectly played. Just as if, John, they had a scouting report on Maddox O'Connor. And here's Blake Larson, 1 for 3 with a run batted in.
Well, they have seen him play 1 time, so maybe they did a good job coaching there.
Sometimes that's enough. This kid known as the Unit. It's a good nickname, you know, like the Big Unit Randy Johnson used to have. We've seen a couple of little leaguers that may rival Randy in their height before long.
Yeah, you can see that here, long and lanky.
2-0. 2-1. Earlier today, Ohio beats Illinois 4-0 for the second shutout of this tournament. Ohio moves on to face the winner of Kentucky and Wisconsin later tonight. And Illinois, regrettably, is eliminated. Hate to see any of these teams go because they put a lot of heart and soul in their seasons and in getting here. And their seasons typically begin after their regular seasons with other teams have ended. That's when all-stars are picked, and they start playing on the local level, branch out to the state, and then on to regionals here.
1 step away from the big dance, huh?
Yeah, that's Williamsport.
Yes.
Payoff pitch coming to Blake Larson. Iowa limited to just 4 hits in the 4-1 loss to North Dakota. Perhaps its undoing came in the fact, John, it had 13 strikeouts. Of course, it faced very good Drew Rarick in that fashion, but those are 13 empty at-bats out of a potential 18 outs. Towards center field. Once again in perfect position, Andrew Young, 2 outs.
Pretty good battle that time. Bonder are on the mound and Larson at the plate. Larson had some pretty good swings. We talked long, left-handed, lanky guy with a nice left-handed swing. He lines that out to center field after fouling a couple off. That was a really good at-bat for him.
Should say the winner of this game will face the winner of Nebraska and Kansas in the next elimination step. And that would come up in a couple of days on Thursday on either ESPN or ESPN2 as we get to the single elimination format. So not only these teams playing to survive, but also they're playing for the opportunity to get to the semifinals or the Final Four of single elimination. And as usual, the losers bracket winners have got to fight their way a long way, but some of these teams are used to that. Jeff Shuttle's the home plate umpire. Check that. Scott Rosenberger is the home plate umpire.
Interesting, Watson at the plate. Yesterday in his first at bat, he was up there right-handed against a right-handed pitcher. Second time up, he went on the left side of the box, now back to the right-handed against the right-hander on the mound.
Brody Watson went around after a leadoff hit by Connor DeWong. Iowa strands him.
In the top of the first for Iowa, no runs, one hit, one runner.
Missouri to the plate for the first time today.
For Missouri,
yes, he did.
He wears 77. He's a left-handed thrower. His name is Blake Larson, the unit on the mound for Iowa after a scoreless first half of this game. And, John, let's talk a little bit about what he brings to the game today.
Yeah, besides that sweet left-handed swing, he brings fastball, cutter. He can throw it up there in the mid-70s. As I said yesterday, they've got about 4 guys that can reach the mid-70s, and he is one of them, the big guy. But that fastball-cutter combination, pretty good for the lefty.
Andrew Young will lead off against him, then Drew Vonderhaar, the opposing catcher. Gage Chapman, the shortstop. Evan Stevens, the right fielder. Brett Korth, the third baseman. Levi Lassiter, the first baseman. Cohen Epler at second will bat seventh. Hunter Shull, and then Sam Weller. Missouri was shut out on one hit by an off-the-chart performance by Mason Hoheisel, who struck out 15 while he was in there. So both of these teams didn't get many bats on balls in that game, John, because of the effective pitching they faced. Kind of frustrating when you tear up your region, score a lot of runs and come here, and suddenly the cupboard is bare. That's how good the competition is, though.
Yep, they were 3-0 in that state tournament, talking about Webb City, to get here, and then you run in, as you said, a buzzsaw, and that's what they may run into today with the ability of another guy out there on the mound in Larson that can bring it up there pretty hard, a lot like Mason Hoheisel was able to do.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Scott Rosenberger behind home plate. John Chirilla at first. Kevin Southwell at second. Jeff Shuttle, umpire at third. Andrew Young stays alive on 3-2. 0 for 2 with the 2 strikeouts in the opener. It feels, John, like Missouri played a week ago, and it was actually Sunday morning at 10. Toward third base, Alex Stewart in a perfect spot, 1 out. Drew Vonderhaar will step to the plate 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
Stewart in on the grass, ready for this, gets a nice clean hop and a good throw over to first base. And how about this infield? It's in tremendous shape. They pulled the tarp off of this thing about 8:30 this morning. There was about 20 guys and girls out there pulling it off, and a lot of water out there, and this thing looks completely dry now and in great shape.
First game was delayed by an hour. Second game starting right on time, much to the satisfaction of Little League. Next 2 games at 4 and 7 if the weather holds. Slow roller toward third base, fielded by the pitcher, and a nice play by Blake Larson, 2 outs.
And a congratulations by Stewart, the third baseman there. He points to him and says, great job, Larson. Not an easy play for a lefty to come off the mound. You got to take it, turn your back to the base, and make a strike throw over there. Well done.
Gage Chapman, whom we highlighted in our open, he was 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. You know, this is such a small thing, but the fact that you're making contact as opposed to all the strikeouts that you recorded, I suppose there's an upside to everything. Or as a batter, does it not matter until you get a base hit?
No, you know what? Because I was thinking to add what you were going to say there, eventually they're going to find their way through. So you make contact, it's eventually going to go your way.
As an athlete, if you've had some success and suddenly you don't, I mean, does that confidence wane that quickly?
For most it doesn't, and if it does creep into your mind, you got to kind of change that mentality a little bit. Think about baseball. You can fail 7 out of 10 times at the plate, and you're still a 300 hitter. That's pretty good. So you need a whole different mentality if you're a basketball shooter and you're 3 for 10, but if you're at the plate, that's pretty good.
Or maybe you think about fireworks.
Yeah.
As one of our batters previously had done.
Yep. Tap your helmet and thinks fireworks. And
yeah.
That's his approach at the plate. Whatever, you know what? Whatever it takes. If that worked the first time, I don't know what made him think about fireworks the first time, but go with it if it works.
Just think the 4th of July, right? Inning over, and a good one for Blake Larson, not only as a fielder, but certainly as a pitcher. Missouri up and down in order to the Iowa second. Alex Stewart will get it started.
Leading off the top of the second for Iowa, number 40, third baseman, Alex
Take time to
Stewart.
profile Webb City, Missouri. in Missouri's all-time history at Williamsport. Webb City was there in 2015 and in 2002, and it was Daniel Boone National back in 2006. To make a return trip, they'll just have to keep winning the rest of the way. No wiggle room at this point with one loss. Alex Stewart to lead off the Iowa second. Up the middle, base hit. Second hit of the game for Grandview Little League. And both have been to center field.
Got an inside pitch that time, pulled his hands in, drove it right back the middle, and another good start to the second inning here for this Iowa team.
Kobe Kunert. Snap throw to first base is not in time, but it was close.
Yeah.
Alex Stewart leaning a little bit too far.
How about the throw from Shull behind the plate? That's the third time we've seen him throw behind a runner at first base. Not afraid to let it go.
Hunter's got good insight in this game. That one bunted foul. Kid nicknamed Lil Coon, the son of the manager.
How about the approach again, though? Remember we talked about whatever it takes to get it done on elimination day? Laying bunts down early in this one, too, playing some small ball. Maybe taking a page out of Great Lakes in Ohio.
Why not? Saw this in the girls softball tournament in Zionsville, where a team, in that case, I believe it was Iowa, up on Indiana 1-0, and just kind of nickeled and dimed their way throughout the entire inning and scored 6. It can happen. Going the opposite way to right field. Kevin Stevens, or Stewart, only had to move a step. So Stevens with a put out, 1 out. And that is the third outfield put out for Missouri.
Number 6, Braden Shutt.
Here's Braden Shutt. He was 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the opening game against Minnesota. All games today, win and advance. Lose and the season comes to an end. Runner still at first with 1 out. See some of these hitters trying to go opposite field here today.
Thank you.
Right field was a very attractive spot yesterday and last night, John, because of the wind.
I was going to say, not a bad idea. That wind still today, although not as strong as yesterday, blowing from dead center field toward that right field line. So not a bad place to hit it.
2-strike pitch. Double play ball to third. And they're not going to get anybody. Ball bounces into the outfield, firing through to third. That gets away. And now the runner's hung up. And he is going to be out. Like a broken play defensively, and still, somehow, Missouri gets an out of it.
Alex Stewart, some aggressive base running, taking third base here, was kind of caught up in between. The throw hits right off of the bag and bounces out towards center field. Stewart hesitates, makes it to third safely, and then ball gets by the third baseman. He thinks, oh no, then he gets caught up. And how about the speed of Korth to be able to run him down?
Well, initially it was an error on the third baseman, Brett Korth. Let's hope everybody's okay here. And Jace Embry's all right. So now 2 on with 2 outs in the second. And a most unusual recovery for an out.
For Iowa,
It'll look like Iowa's going to score.
Matthew McCray Jr.
One thing about the way the ball bounces behind home plate against the backstop and here in the padded area along the third base lines, it can come back in a hurry.
Yes. Just happened at third base. Caused an out. Got to know the surroundings on this. Coaches have been talking about it, how that ball comes right back to the catcher.
Matthew McCray to second base. Cohen Epler over to first, inning over. Iowa threatens, but leaves 2. Missouri will start with Evan Stevens in the second.
For Iowa in the top of the second inning, 4 runs, 1 hit, 2 runners left on base. Pitch count for Missouri through Wanderhaar. Inning 12. Game total 31. 3-1.
You're okay. You're all right.
And their heroes. This is something. We knew the Little Leaguers would be excited to meet the big leaguers and their heroes. This is something they will never forget.
All 16 teams have gathered here to see a big league game. And Bell cranks one. First pitch gone. A diving catch.
And this year, the MLB Little League Classic on ESPN will be the first place Eastern Division leading Philadelphia Phillies and the Mets. So the kids will have a chance to see potentially a playoff team. Of course, when the season started, everybody thought that playoff team was going to be the Mets after the white-hot start, but they faded.
I said that yesterday. You know, during that, it said the little leaguers get to meet those big leaguers. They're excited about it. I think the big leaguers get just as excited the opportunity to meet these kids, and they know they were there once before.
Phillies have a number of stars on their team, including Jake Arrieta, star for the Cubs in recent years. Evan Stevens, Brett Korth, Levi Lassiter, and 3 pitches, and Evan Stevens is out on strikes.
How about Larson's follow through on the mound? Watch him finish.
For Missouri,
like
third
that.
baseman, number 22, Brett Korth.
Gets really good extension, that long, lanky lefty, and plants that foot, and then want to get in a fielding position.
Now Brett Korth 0 for 1.
He's rocking the high tops out there on the mound.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice professional look, don't you think? Show how much of a struggle it was for Missouri in its game against Minnesota. Everybody who played, minus Hunter Shull and Luke Beverlin, struck out. I mean, it's hard to project, John, but you almost feel like Mason Hoheisel is going to be in the show someday.
He certainly has some talent to get to the next level as he starts to age up.
3 strikeouts in a row for Blake Larson.
Missouri first baseman, number 10, Levi Lassiter.
Had the fastball before. This is a breaking ball. Take a look at the way he finishes here. Kicks that left leg, comes around. You got to be able to be ready to field. Kind of falls toward the third base side a little bit, so anybody that bunts, a little bit more difficult, and that's probably what helped him get off the mound so well to make that play earlier. Falling to that third base side allows him to get there.
Levi Lassiter with 2 outs in the second. Lance Lynn, when he played for Brownsburg, Indiana, in a Little League tournament, threw roughly 80 miles an hour.
Oh.
And was drafted by the Cardinals, had great success there. Well, he's still throwing, picked up by the Yankees in a trade. He struck out 9 White Sox through a 2-hitter last night. And I'm sure he doesn't forget his Little League days.
No.
Brownsburg, Indiana was a a terror for a while. Drew Storn, part of the Cincinnati Reds, part of that Brownsburg lore. Well, it's fun to examine each pitcher's delivery and also what they do after the delivery, and everybody's wired a bit differently. But somewhere, some way, somehow they have imitated someone they admire.
Yep.
Good pitch. Blake Larson strikes out the side in the second. Has now struck out 4 in a row. Just like our first game today, this one's starting off like a pitchers do as well. To the Iowa top of the lineup in the third. John and I say it here, and it comes out there. There's Lance Lynn, back in the day, who, according to our statistician, J.D. Hamilton, became only the 5th Yankee since 1990 to have 7 innings of shutout ball in his debut. Yes, he did not pitch against the Red Sox, but watch out, Boston. This thing's not over yet.
Got a long way to go.
Great start for the Brownsburg, Indiana kid. To right field in foul territory. Now, granted, the White Sox are not having a good season, but still, Yankees badly in need of starting pitching. Get it last night. But I thought your remark was classic during the commercial break. Too bad he didn't pitch against the Red Sox.
No, I think it's good when the Yankees are playing well.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not very bright on these things, but I know sarcasm when I hear it.
Boy, how about the sunshine now, huh? Need glasses out in the outfield.
Weather forecast. What are you going to do with it, huh? Connor Duwong singled for his second hit of the regional to start the game. Head on the count, 2 balls and a strike. Scoreless game, top of the third. CD at the plate. Can play practically every position. Iowa has had a leadoff hitter on each of the first 2 innings by way of base hits to center. This one hit toward center field. Wind carrying it. Caught. Up next against the fence by Andrew Young. That is his 3rd putout of the game, and that one was smacked.
And he takes a big sigh of relief. How about this? He fields this perfectly. You know, you want to go back, glide back. He looks back, finds the fence, goes back and finds the ball and hauls it in comfortably. What a nice play. Composure out there going back toward the fence.
I agree. We are seeing some standout defense here in the first 2 games. Out in front of home plate, foul. And you know, maybe something's in relation to the fact that these teams are through their first game. The jitters may be gone, or the anxiety. Used to the cameras now.
Yeah.
Maybe the competition's a little more on an even or level playing field. Maddox O'Connor flew out to center, back in the first. Then it'll be Blake Larson. Two hits for Iowa in the game. Make it 3. And it's going to go for more. O'Connor around second base. Heading into third, he will make it. Likely a base hit and an error. Well, as soon as you mentioned good defense, things tend to happen.
They do. This ball well hit back up the middle, too. And you don't get to third unless you're coming out of the box moving pretty good that time. And O'Connor, because of that misplay out in center field, allows him to get to third and possibly get that first run across the plate.
That's an opportunity now for Blake Larson, the pitcher, who flew out to center field, and a sacrifice fly here would give Iowa that lead. Good cut there, a ball and a strike.
It was North Dakota's coach last night that were talking about productive outs when they have guys in scoring position. You mentioned Larson flied out last time out. He'd like to do the same thing here, at least lift this thing out of here or drive it through somewhere to get this run in.
Ooh. Look out, Coach Stewart at first base. Wow. You know, higher levels, the coaches are required to wear helmets, John.
Yep.
Because of a fatality that happened in the minor leagues a few years back.
Well, he may want to consider putting one on with Larson up there.
Not so sure. It's not a bad idea, even at this level. As fast as guys throw and as quick as the ball could come off the bat. Glad everybody is okay, particularly Coach Stewart. Ball and 2 strikes with a man out in a scoreless game and a runner at third. Boy, what a great pitch on 1 and 2. Got Larson off balance, and now 2 outs, and the infield can breathe a little bit.
Really good pitch choice there, throwing that breaking ball outside corner. He turned that fastball around. You get him thinking fastball, and you get him on that slow breaking ball, and yeah, he was a little pumped up. He knew that was a big strikeout.
Now Brody Watson with a chance. 0 for 3 in regional competition with 3 strikeouts. Pitched very well last night, minus a rough 4th inning. Waving that bat over the plate. .45 pitches now for Drew Vonderhaar. He got Watson to go around. 2 balls and a strike. Replay is at the disposal of both teams, but we must have a record right now. We've gone 2+ innings without any reviews. Day yesterday filled with a bunch of them and several on Sunday as well. But hey, if you got it, you use it.
Yeah, these volunteer umpires out here put in a situation where they had so many close plays, and they got them right, too.
Watson hitting the back. Will go down to first base. So it's up to Alex Stewart. Alex had a base hit in the second.
40, the third baseman, Alex
Maddox O'Connor reached on a hit and went all the way to third on a center field error. Is still third base with 2 outs. And again, Watson now at first. The pitch. Towards center field, a chance for redemption here. Andrew Young with his 4th put out of the game. Iowa leaves 2, fails to score. Got a good one in game 2 today. 0-0. Bottom half for Missouri in the third.
For Iowa at the top of the third. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 Missouri error. 2 runners left on base. Pitch count for Drew.
Focused on fun, fitness, and fundamentals, the Little League journey starts with T-ball. Visit littleleague.org/T-ball for our free 10-week practice plan. Keeping the youngest Little Leaguers moving, having fun, and learning the games of baseball and softball. We heard a cute song yesterday. We're still trying to identify it. It was played off camera prior to Game 4 about Little League, kind of a parody, but done in great fun and humor.
About
as
parents.
Peyton Marshall steps in, and there's a reference to T-ball in there.
Yeah, parents and coaches, and a parent becoming a coach, and everything that goes along with it. It's cute.
Yes, it was. Of course, if you're a coach wannabe, that song may not be an inspiration to you. Iowa without a base runner so far, or rather Missouri without a base runner so far. As Blake Larson has struck out 4 in a row. See if Peyton Marshall can put an end to that streak in a 0-0 game. Two balls, 2 strikes. 5 strikeouts in a row for Larson. He is dealing, John.
Boy, he's doing it with the fastball and he's doing it with the breaking ball, and all of them good location. That's fastball in. He's got plenty enough pop on that fastball to get in the kitchen of some of these hitters. Time he's able to work that inner half of the plate for the strikeout.
Hunter Shaw, 1 out in the Iowa with the Missouri half of the 3rd. Pitch almost hit him. You and I talked to coaches Watson and Stewart last night. They had a lot of positive things on their pitching staff, of which we were unfamiliar.
Yes.
So we've got a lot of guys that can throw a lot of strikeouts. And last night, Iowa pitchers threw 13, and today, with 5 in a row, they've thrown 5. So living up to aforementioned form.
Yep, no question about it. And with the velocity they talked about, too.
Yes, sir.
Watson yesterday, a little bit harder thrower than Larson, but tell you, Larson right now is in control out on the mound, and he does have that good fastball, as they mentioned.
Would you say that Brody Watson's been the hardest thrower so far in the regional?
I do. I believe he has been.
Hard hop towards second base and into right field. Was not an easy play for Connor Duwong. And Hunter Shaw becomes the first Iowa base runner. That was a bullet at him.
Was hit right at him, too. Kind of a crazy hop there to able to get by there, and see Shaw behind the plate, emotional. Throw behind you there and trying to get his dugout fired up as he looks over back in there, and he's going to get pinch run for here. Now he'll get in there and he'll start the cheering for that team.
Cohen Epler will pinch run for Hunter Shaw. And that hard hit ball is ruled a base hit to right field. Missouri's first hit of the game. And the go-ahead run in this game. Sam I Am Weller at the plate. Born December 21st. How about this, John? Old school, a fan of John Wayne.
That is some old school.
Toward third base. Everybody's safe. Alex Stewart couldn't handle it. So runners down first and second, and a threat for Missouri in its half of the bottom of the 3rd.
Stewart not able to come up with this, but I don't know if he gets Weller moving down that first base line anyway. Quick out of the left-hander's box. Would have been close.
For Missouri, number 32, center fielder Andrew Young.
Back to the top of the order, and center fielder Andrew Young. It'll be an error, as mentioned. Andrew is 0 for 3 in the regional, a couple of strikeouts and a first inning ground out. To this point, Iowa has left 5. Missouri's first scoring threat coming here in the 3rd. And because Larson got a hold of that, everybody's safe. That might have been at least a force. And it's hard for a pitcher to let it go. He didn't. They're loaded.
Instinct out on the mound will tell you have to go after that ball, but you're right. If it gets through there, O'Connor maybe comes up with it cleanly, gets the double play, and they could be out of the inning. But now we got the bases loaded.
We've seen a lot of deflected baseballs by pitchers who typically in this regional have been good fielders, but nonetheless you run into a situation where sometimes a deflected ball can lead to a big inning. Manager Matt Coonard is out there to settle things down. In this inning, it's been a walk, an error, and an infield hit, and I'm sure that manager and the rest of these guys feel they should be out of the inning.
Yep. And I think it's a good visit to the mound, too, just to not only calm, you pitcher down, you're going to talk with him about maybe the upcoming hitter or what we're going to do here, but also just to calm your infielders down.
And strategy. What do you do?
Yep. Always knowing with one out here, where am I going to play this? If the corners are in, am I going to go cut the run off at home? Middle infielders playing midway, so they may go for a double play, but they're definitely coming home. Anything back to the pitcher, first or third.
The upside for Drew Vonderhaar, if he hits it hard at either third or first base, it's going to skip right past him. Time being called. Runners at third, second, and first. Big potential inning for Missouri. Strike one. Well, Brody Watson and Alex Stewart are almost daring Drew Vonderhaar to hit it at him.
And Brody Watson playing in at first base like that, a ball hit back quickly to somebody else. He's got to get back to that first base bag in a hurry, too, if they want to double a guy off home to first.
Really, the only play for the guys at the corners is going to be home. Ball, 2 strikes. Important pitch coming here. Larson to the plate. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good reaction from Kobe Coonard, Coach Kobe as they call him, behind home plate.
That may be your best opportunity to score when it gets away from the catcher and doesn't get all the way back to the backstop cleanly, because it just bounces straight back to the catcher. You want it to get away from him.
Like a ricochet. Strike 3 called. Huge out for Blake Larson. His 6th strikeout of the game.
And maybe none bigger right there. His 6th strikeout could have been maybe the most important one here with the bases loaded. He really reaches back there and grabs some MPH and just lets it go and paints the outside corner.
Here's Gager with the bases loaded. Gage Chapman. 2 outs now. Scoreless game. All the trouble began for Iowa when Missouri put 3 on after 1 out. Now after the Vonderhaar strikeout, it's Blake Larson against Gage Chapman. I love Little League because in a dramatic moment, as the pitcher's ready to throw, everybody's quiet.
Like it's getting ready to hit a golf shot, right?
Yes. This is Chapman at 17. Gage behind 2 strikes. Can he deliver here? And new life for Gage. Ball, 2 strikes, and a smile from pitcher Blake Wilson.
Yeah, there's a whole first base crowd here on that side that are
good call,
trying to be umpires up in the stand. They're trying to influence every call they can.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Coonard wanted that one high. He actually stood up. He doesn't stand very tall behind home plate, so He wanted it high. Larson gave it, but Chapman didn't go after it.
Now Blake Larson will take some time. Pretty good showdown here in an elimination game. Scoreless in the bottom of the third with 2 outs and the bases loaded. And a 2-2 pitch. Toward third base, the force out ends it. Good job by Alex Stewart. Iowa dodges a bullet. Gabe Kunert will lead off the fourth. And what appears to be headed for a 1-run finish.
Hit in the last inning has been changed to an error. It was an E4 instead of the base hit.
Got a good one going here. 0-0, top of the fourth. Bottom of the Iowa order. Kobe Kunert, Brandon Schutt, Jace Embry are scheduled to bat. And we're going to see some pitch hitters in the meantime. Gabe Schuger will step to the plate. With the suspension last night of Max Kunert, the team is still required to have a coach in the dugout. That wasn't possible unless they took a coach off the bases, which Iowa did, and Gabe served as a first base coach. John, I was eyeing him on every pitch, and I don't think he made any mistakes.
Never flashed any signals, did he?
No. In fact, he was told not to. But these are his teammates, so the few that reached base, I'm sure he had plenty to say. Think he had a conversation with the opposing first baseman?
No.
You know, such as, hey, you need to back up on this guy. Watch out for the bunt.
I don't think so.
Gabe swings and misses, 1 out in the fourth.
How about that? 48 pitches so far in 3 1/3 innings. That's pretty efficient. Location. Not going to blow it by you so much, but he's got a good breaking ball, so that gives that fastball a little bit more giddy up. And when you locate it like he just did, Scholl will set up on the outside corner, and so far Vonderhaar has been able to just hit the glove.
Always talk so much about how good a pitcher could be, but that catcher, the battery mate, as they're commonly referred to, becomes equally as important.
No question.
To the point in the majors sometimes where pitchers want their catchers for the games they throw. David Ross made a living off of that.
Yep.
With the Cubs en route to a world championship in 2016.
Now they get comfortable. They know how they're thinking. They know they can call the game behind the plate, and guys won't even shake them off the entire year.
Is that possible?
Yes.
Wow.
Some pitchers just trust the catcher does all the study, and they know each hitter out there, and he tells me what to throw, and I'm going to just reach back and throw whatever he says with conviction.
When Tony La Russa managed, and he won several world championships, he called the signals. Is that unusual in baseball?
Well, I think at that level it is. Now there's a lot of big leaguers that they'll shake off some catchers because that's the simple fact that they want to throw the pitch that they feel most comfortable with. But there's other guys that will approach it and say, I'm going to let the catcher handle it all. They're the captain typically, and as I say, they may do a little bit more studying beforehand on how they're going to approach the hitters with pitching coaches, and it's one less thing a starter pitcher has to worry about.
Cade Byers strikes out. That's 2 in the inning for Drew Vonderhaar, and 4 now for the game.
Talked about breaking balls over the top. This is one he drops down to the side, and you can see more of a sweeping breaking ball as that starts off by the inner to the center of the plate and then breaks outside against the righty, and with 2 strikes you can get him to chase.
Now Deshaun Childers, strike 1.
Boy, that was a good look into the glove there as he had his fingers separated for that fastball.
The winner of this game stays alive in the Midwest Regional. Will face the winner of Nebraska-Kansas, which is coming up in 2 hours here on ESPN. As is the case in that game, and in this one, the loser's season is over. On the changeup to right center field. And a diving catch made by Andrew Young. Well, who else out in center field? His 5th put out of the game. And I ask you, who's going to blink first in this game?
For Iowa in the top of the 4th inning, no runs, no hits, nobody left. Pitch count for Missouri's Drew Vonderhaar in the inning, 14. Game total, 64-6-4. And defensively for Iowa, re-entering the game at catcher, number 5, Toby Cooner. Re-entering the game in left field, number 6, Brayden Schutt. And re-entering the game in right field, 20, Jace Embry.
Would you like to take home a photo memory of your favorite Little League athlete? Sports Shot Photography takes great on-field action photos, and is the official photographer of the Little League World Series. Be sure to visit the Sports Shot Photography booth
Going in
today.
for 6.
Revisit our rules regarding mandatory play. If a team has 13 or 14 players, and each of these 2 teams do, each player must bat once, so it's the opening line that's significant here. Then the bottom paragraph, a manager's failure to insert players into the lineup results in immediate ejection of the manager and removal without replacement for the remainder of the tournament. Have not had any incidents or any efforts on the part of managers to hide players. Pretty hard to do that anyway, but insisting that they need to play their best down the stretch. Everybody gets a sniff of Little League baseball. Christian Brock will lead off in the Missouri 4th. Missouri left the bases loaded in the 3rd. What do you think, John, so far? The best game of the tournament?
Best defense and pitching I think that we've seen. Well-rounded baseball game. This is the kind of game my dad likes. You know, he thinks he likes a 1-0 game. Other guys like to see a bunch of runs scored. He's old school.
Diving stop at second base, so to first, gets away. Off the ricochet, though, runner held up. That's happened twice today. So Christian Brock gets the hit, goes into right field, and there's that ricochet that often has been happening here. Now it bounces well for Iowa.
Oh, this is a tough call right here. Nice play to come up with it. Throw not in time over there. Makes a turn. You know, I think if he just walks back to the bag, I bet you he doesn't get that call. You'll see guys turn like that. I mean, he took one step toward second base, so they may take a look at it here.
Yeah, play's going to be under review.
Yesterday we saw a player clearly make a few steps. He took the turn and started to run to second, then came back to the bag and was ruled out of the baseline when he tried to dodge the tag of the first baseman.
Well, what would the argument be here? Because the player was still in fair territory, the batter namely.
Yeah.
Do they have a case?
Oh, boy. It's tough. I mean, if you make a move to second base, I'm thinking that he didn't necessarily make that move to second base. He considered it, but right there his momentum was keeping him. And
all right, since this play is not reviewable, replay doesn't matter. So the runner is going to be ruled out, or the batter is ruled out.
And I don't know how the umpire is going to let the fans know, because they're certainly curious about that. Unless they make an announcement here, most people won't understand, because there was no call by the home plate umpire, but the coaches certainly understand it.
And the first base umpire did have his hand up, so.
Yep.
We'll see how they scored the play originally, whether it was an error or a base hit. Luke Beverly now to the plate. Two balls. Well, now each team has been victim of a ricochet, in which the ball wound up in the right spot for the defense after an error had been created.
I grew up playing first base my whole life, had many times the opportunity to turn around and tag a guy out that's taken a couple steps like that, and I would tell you most of the time the umpires never called the guy out.
Really?
And most of the time, the guy, if you make a big move towards second base and then you start to come back, may get that call. But most of the time, the older you get, you don't make that move. So tough call, really tough call.
Watching baseball, I always thought it was the requirement of the hitter to go into foul territory, which was kind of like a safe zone. And that once they did make the turn, for whatever reason, if they were thinking double and decided against it, that now they were fair game.
Yep, just a fine line.
Three balls, two strikes, two outs. Excuse me, one out. Levi Lassiter bats next in a scoreless game. Blake Larson battles back to get the second out of the inning. And his seventh strikeout.
Battling back, and he's been battling all day with getting big strikeouts. Another fastball with good location, up and away.
Cooper, fourth.
Here's Cooper fourth in a pinch hitting situation. Two outs in the inning, nobody on. John, I see you practicing your batting swing up here, so.
I'm thinking about his hands, where they're placed.
Okay.
Most guys have them back a little bit more. His approach at the plate, have them a little bit more toward the front shoulder, and then they go back. I think that's a pretty good approach if you're a guy that wants to get that timing. Some guys do it with their feet. He was doing it with his hands. Gets a good look at it right there, and watch how he pushes his hands back.
Playing with the mouthpiece. Consecutive strikes by Blake Larson. Second strikeout of the inning. And the third time today he has ended an inning with a strikeout. To the fifth, bottom of the Iowa order, still scoreless. Here's everything you need to know about this game. It's been pitching. Drew Vonderhaar striking out 4. And his counterpart, Blake Larson, doing the job as well. And then the big play of the game, Alex Stewart stepping on third, and a Missouri threat in the third with the bases loaded. And so here we are, where every batter and certainly every base runner becomes important in an elimination game.
Pinch hitting, number 1.
Aiden Bennett will pinch hit. Then the top of the Iowa order, which has hit the ball well, mostly to center field. In fact, exclusively to center field. In hits and in putouts. Scoring line in the game, the visitors Iowa, no runs, 3 hits, 2 errors. Home team Missouri, no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. The winner gets the Nebraska-Kansas winner, which is coming up at 4. And the loser, the season is over. But for some of these kids, age-wise, they get a chance to come back and play Little League next year. 13-year-olds will not be allowed. Others moving on to a different level. Change-up.
And those players moving on to that different level that you were talking about. Some of these coaches are losing the opportunity to coach their sons for the first time, probably, and kind of bittersweet to a lot of these coaches as we talk to them before ball games, thinking that this may be the last time they get a shot to coach them up.
A lot of great volunteer time put into it. Wives, daughters, brothers, other family members, grandparents, all part of the Little League experience. Down the third base line and fair. 1 out. Brett Korth on the throw. Aiden Bennett retired. Back to the top of the order.
Korth had to make a strong throw to get the runner down at first base, down the line, not hit very hard. Makes a strike throw over there and a good stretch by Lassiter, the first baseman, to get the out.
In the state tournament, Brett Korth threw a no-hitter. Connor Duong's hit it twice to center field, once for a hit. The other time for a flyout in the hands of Andrew Young. He is 2 for 5 in the regional. Every batter now representing the go-ahead run for either team. We have not had an extra inning game yet. but it is possible here. And you know, John, this one will end roughly for somebody, but I think this is the kind of game I'd want to be in.
Yes.
If my future was at stake. Towards center field again. You know what? Connor Duong is going to be thinking of Andrew Young in his dreams. That's 3 fly balls there, 1 for a hit, twice retired.
Boy, he covers a lot of ground out there, doesn't he?
The Iowa shortstop.
Oh, he does.
Plenty of speed. He's your leadoff hitter and a guy that can get you some outs out there and get you out of innings.
For the center fielder, Andrew Young of Missouri, he now has 6 putouts. Maddox O'Connor has flied to center and singled to center on an error by Young. He got to third base, but off a ricochet got tagged out, ended that threat. Matt Kunert, conversation done with Maddox O'Connor. So O trying to start a 2-out rally. Blake Larson bats next. No balls, 1 strike. Beauty of baseball, you played it of course, is that every game seems to take on a different story. And you can't judge a previous game many times.
And that's the difference between baseball, and it's at its own pace too without a clock.
Mile high in the air on the infield grass. For the second baseman, Cohen Epler, 2 outs. Check that, make it 3. Now to the bottom of the 5th. Missouri, bottom of its order. Game still scoreless.
In the top of the 5th for Iowa, no runs, no hits, nobody left. Pitch count for Missouri through Vonderhaar in the inning 13. Game total.
The 500 Hall of Fame Museum, west side of Indianapolis. Some of the old roadsters from years gone by when speeds were then an electrifying 100 miles an hour. Now it's a pit stop.
Center field, number 2, Matthew McCray Jr.
Here further north in Westfield. No score, last of the 5th.
Second baseman, number 12,
The second baseman, Cohen Epler, will step up. His first official at bat today. He was pinch hit for by Peyton Marshall in the 3rd. Should we get to the 6th inning, the potential lead run may become the potential winning run.
That's right. And think about this, 2 starters that we still see in this ball game going the distance compared to Ohio making the decision earlier today to split up their pitching to try to save it for the fact if they can move on, they'd still have those guys. So a little different approach here, but both have had success.
Count is a ball and 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. Blake Larson has gotten many of those today. He has now struck out 3 in a row. At one point, he had struck out 5 straight.
Yep. Doesn't have to be such a hard fastball here. This was a breaking ball inside. 2 strikes. You got to protect the plate. Didn't do it. Got the call. And when you're around the plate, you're going to get those type of calls from the home plate umpire. So, and he's been around the plate all day.
Again for this game, that's Scott Rosenberger toward right field. Called in. First time today, a play for Jace Embry, 2 outs. John, I almost wish that there wasn't an 85 pitch regulation in this game. And that these guys could go 7, 8, 9 innings if need be.
Yeah, well, the way they're pitching, and they got their pitch count down and been efficient, just 73 pitches now through 4 2/3 innings. So he may be able to go depending on how quickly, if he can get these other guys out.
Sam Weller to the dirt. But you know, in the major league games, we rarely see a starting pitcher go 9.
No.
Certainly going in extra innings is really unusual. So a lot of these type of games in the bigs are turned over to relievers. You know, being a Red Sox fan, you're happy that happened in the hands of Aroldis Chapman the other night with the Yankees. Ball and 2 strikes.
76 pitches now. If he can get through this, at least he's going to come out for the 6th.
What a well-pitched game on both sides. To the final regularly scheduled inning. Blake Larson against Drew Vonderhaar.
No runs, no hits, nobody left. Pitch count for Iowa.
Perfect. Both Blake Larson and this man, Drew Vonderhaar, have been terrific today. Drew has a 3-hit shutout, 77 pitches, 4 strikeouts, no walks. And now it's the pitch count that becomes even the bigger story, because it's likely that neither Drew or Blake will be able to get through the 6th inning, because 85 becomes the limit. Now you can start a pitch count with a batter prior to 85, and you can go to 105 if necessary, but only with that one batter.
Pitcher, 77, Blake Larson.
And you will max out at 85, so as you mentioned, he better be real efficient here, or more than likely we're going to see somebody in relief, and boy, that just flips this whole game around.
It does. Blake Larson, the counterpart at the mound. Typically now leading off for Iowa in the 6th. It's only fitting, I think, John, that both pitchers get a chance to hit in this inning.
Thank you.
Try to help their own cause, right?
Mm-hmm. Iowa has not had a base runner since the 3rd. That one smacked toward right field and deep. Just missed a home run. And into second with a slide and a double is Blake Larson. Man, he came oh so close. And I was watching first base coach Josh Stewart just kind of, I thought he had it.
Boy, this guy's got plenty of power, but this ball is off the, looks like the end of the bat. He thought maybe he had enough. I wonder if that wind held it up just a bit, but to me it sounded like he either hit it off the end of the bat or was fisted a bit. That's the only thing that kept that ball in the ballpark.
What do you do with pinch hitter Trenton Tharp here? Are you bunting?
I think I am. I'm going to try to get a runner on third base so I can score with a pass ball or some error or just what we've seen before, some just little knock into the infield that causes the defense to move.
Infield back at normal depth. He's going to swing away. To left field, one out. Well, maybe they knew something in the scouting report. He wasn't bunting. He was going for a base hit to put him ahead, one out. Handled by Sam Weller.
Number 40, Alex Stewart.
Here's Alex Stewart, 1 for 2. Go ahead run, second base, Blake Larson. Good baseball game today in his second elimination game. Line drive, caught second base, no chance for a double on the overthrow. Now they're going to send the runner, they are. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw to home plate. He is safe. Larson scores. Iowa leads 1-0.
Well, you think about what happens, the little things, a line drive here, chance for a double play, and the ball gets by Chapman as Epler throws it a little wide. And how about Coach Cohen down at third base? He was not going to hold Larson up. He's going to send him all the way. And a big run on the board here in the top of the 6th.
Wow. Iowa just its second run of the tournament. Couldn't be larger, though. Oh, man. Cade Coonard hitting the helmet. It's a tough kid, though. We knew that. Says he's okay. So a throwing error, the third error of the game on Missouri, has resulted in the first run of the game for Iowa. Cade Coonard will be checked out. So Kobe appears to be okay.
Re-entering the game for Iowa, now running at first base. Number
Kobe
4,
took a shot there, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Boy.
I hate to see that end of this ball game, but he's a tough kid.
Now batting for Iowa, the left fielder.
They're going to pinch run for him here.
Shut.
Smart move. Matthew McCray becomes the pinch runner. Well, it wouldn't have been easy, but if Missouri was able to turn to double play, that means Vonderhaar could have gotten through the 6th.
And he still can here with 2 outs.
Yes.
He gets this hitter here. This will be his last batter, so regardless of what happens here at the plate with Shutt, he's going to be done for the day.
Looking ahead to the Missouri 6, top of the order, Andrew Young, Drew Vonderhaar, and Gage Chapman, who are combined 1 for 6. Missouri without a run in the tournament to this point. That's it. But Blake Larson, who led off the inning with a double, racing around third on the errant throw, just beats it. Missouri needs 1 to tie, 2 to win.
For Iowa.
Are we doing Little League University? Okay. If you're looking for training and information for coaches, umpires, league volunteers, and parents, get free backyard tips, practice plans, drills, videos, and more by visiting littleleagueuniversity.org today.
Defensively for Iowa, re-entering the game at first base, number 18, Brody Watson. And leading off the
Blake Larson has struck out 10 in 5 innings. The question now is, can he get through the inning and end the game for Iowa on the mound?
Now, the one thing I think if I'm coaching Webb City Little League right now, I'm telling them to try to be patient as you can right here. Get them to that mark as quick as possible, because that may be the only way we got an opportunity, as good as he's throwing right now, is to find somebody else on that mound.
Young likely taking on 2-0. 2 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch count now over 80.
Yep, now you've got to. You can't wait with 1 strike.
2-2.
Somehow battle. They would love to see him foul about 3 pitches off, 3 or 4 pitches off here.
That's all it would take.
He just needs 3.
Did he lay off? No. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Drew Larson, or Blake Larson, like Drew Vonderhaar, has not walked anybody. John, that's the first walk. And more importantly, that means that this will be the last batter, regardless of what happens, for Blake Larson, who's pitched a dandy.
Missouri batter is the pitcher, number 5, Drew Vonderhaar.
And now that you know that, there's no sense in waiting out a strike. If you get something you like here, go ahead and take a cut at it. You think, you know, should he bunt here? Maybe you just try to tie this game up, but I like the approach here. Let's just go try to win this thing if we can. Do it by not playing small ball here.
Ball and a strike. Andrew Young, the tying run at first base. 6-inning game. We're in the bottom of the 6th. An elimination game.
I was going to say, if you're an infielder here, what you want to do is knock it down.
Double play ball to short into left field. Runner around second's going to try for third. Save. And now the winning run heads into second base. The runner at third base, Andrew Young, shaken up. That'll be a base hit. Even though shortstop Maddox O'Connor is upset with himself, thinking he should have had it.
Yep, Andrew Young shaken up at third base. That's a ball that came from the outfield, hit him in the back of the arm. I think he was so excited, it took him a while to realize he was hit by that ball. I think he's going to be okay. He just got to rub it off. But this ball that was thrown from left field, I think directly hit his arm. Good base run in there. He recognizes it, sees it out in front of him. He doesn't even wait on the third base coach. That's his decision to go, and a good, speedy young man makes that right decision. When you see Larson walking off there, what a hard luck finish to him today. An amazing day that he's had, can finish up like this.
His season, as good as it's been today with this outstanding and electric performance, could be ending. 10 strikeouts through 5, shutout baseball. Then in the 6th, the 3-2 walk, the base hit to center field, and on the throw to third, an advancement, runners at second and third, and Connor Duong has got the toughest of assignments here, not only to try to prevent the tying run from scoring, but also the winning run. Both are in scoring position. Which brings us to this question. You're Iowa defensively, you've got an open base. You want to set an intentional walk up for a force?
No, I don't think so. You want to try to get leave that base open right now.
What's your biggest fear in leaving it open?
Well, you know what? As you say that, with no outs, it may be the case, but you just don't want to walk somebody in. You know, you got a new guy coming in on the mound.
Some managers feel that way.
Yep, especially at the Little League level where you may get a guy that first time on the mound, is he going to throw strikes, and you question that. So I think you leave it open just for that reason.
Kind of interesting that both pitchers facing their counterparts in the 6th inning had hits. Here comes the Gager. Infield coming in. Tying run at 3rd, game winner at 2nd. Nobody out. Good changeup to get it started. Strike 1. It hit him. Bases are loaded. So Chapman now goes to first base. He is an insignificant base runner, unless, of course, he's got a chance to break up a double play. And with the bases unloaded and nobody out for Missouri, the heart of the order coming up.
I think they may try to challenge. They may be able to challenge this to see if he was hit by this pitch.
This is a better angle here. What do you think?
I'm thinking no. I didn't see any jersey move like it nicked him there. I think if you combine both of those angles, I'm saying that he was not hit with that pitch. Boy, fortunately for review, they may get a chance to get this right. One way or the other, at least they're going to have a chance to look at it, and that's the beauty of having this, especially when you're talking about a team that can be eliminated.
There'll be a pinch runner for Drew Vonderhaar at second base. And this replay ruling is going to take a while. And John, there is going to be an overturn. So you were spot on there.
And you know what? Look at Gabe Chapman. He started clapping his hands. He wants an opportunity to drive him in. He really didn't want to be down at the first base bag.
It's like, oh shoot, I can't be the hero.
He said, give me the bat, give me the opportunity. He may be the happiest guy in the ballpark.
He can win it with a base hit. So in the meantime, Drew Vonderhaar, I believe, is back running at second.
Yep, no pinch runner.
Ball 2. Still a hit batsman, John, or a walk in this case is not lethal.
No, and that's, I think, go back to your question about do you put him on? No, because you just don't know how the guy in the mound, if he's going to throw strikes or not.
Now it's 3-0. Check that, make 3 balls, 1 strike. It's a big pitch here, and this is a hitter's pitch where Chapman can win it. Three and 2, elimination game. The winner gets Nebraska or Kansas later today. Here we go. And the bases are loaded.
Went breaking ball that time, just missed outside corner. Not a bad pitch to throw. Chapman had a really good swing on that fastball in the previous pitch.
For Missouri now batting, number 31, Christian Brock. And taking over at second base for Missouri is a special pinch runner, number 6, Evan Stevens.
Evan Stevens now becomes the winning run at second base. Christian Brock is the hitter with the bases loaded and nobody out. Infield playing in at all 4 positions. So the emphasis for the Iowa infield is home plate. Get the force out, prevent the tying run from scoring. 1 strike. A pretty pitch on 0-1 with the bases loaded.
Yep. Take something off it, throw the breaking ball, and if you're going to throw the breaking ball, Kunert behind home plate becomes very important. Your catcher, make sure nothing gets by him here.
Christian Brock out on strikes, 1 out. Bases remain loaded. Connor Duwong with a huge strike in the upper fastball.
Kunert standing up again, not even in a squat position, and he gets in the chase.
Now, John, it's up to Brett Korth. Infield backing up now. Short and second in double play position. That one gets away. Here comes the runner. Save! Game tied. Now the winning run goes to third as Andrew Young dances home.
All day talked about Kunert, how good he is behind the plate. No chance for him on that ball. That's a wild pitch, not a pass ball. He could not get over there in time. Excellent effort, but that allows the tying run to come in.
Brett Korth swinging and missing, 1-1. And the infield back in at all spots. The only emphasis here, home plate. Duwong with the 1-1. And Korth doing a nice job, John, not chasing the high fastball.
Tough to be patient in this situation, but you have to look for something that you can drive through this infield right now. They're all playing in.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Great theater here in the elimination game between Missouri, as some people say, and Iowa. 2-2 pitch. Back to the pitcher. They're going to freeze the runner. Here comes the runner, and he'll go back, even though the ball was dropped to third, and it's not going to be ruled an error, and the runner is safe.
Now the ball clearly beat him there. The question was Larson trying to transfer that to his throwing hand to get the runner at the plate? Again, we're going to have a conversation. Foot's on the bag. He has it, steps off. And
I think that's an out.
I do too.
But I don't have the final say on this.
He's got, well, look at that angle. Did he have it in the glove? It was at the end, right at the end of the webbing of that first baseman's mitt. So I'm not sure if that's what the umpire thought he saw or said he didn't have it long enough.
First base umpire is John Chirilla.
Wow, another. Okay, see the snow cone there? I still think he had the ball long enough.
Yeah, I think he was trying to transfer.
Yep.
Trying to do 2 things. 1, get the out at first. 2, make sure the runner at third wasn't coming home to win it.
But how about the play defensively? Again, recognize it, doing the right thing. Check the runner back at third, make a throw to first base. Everything done correctly. Just wonder if it's on the transfer.
Because the call is a judgment call, the runner's going to be ruled safe. Because that was the call on the field. Wow.
Well, I guess you have to score an error on the throw, or would it be the first baseman?
Probably an error in the catch, but I guess that's debatable here. Matt Kunert is getting the explanation. He's likely not going to like it. This is a real-time view, John. Now all 4 umpires were huddled. And I suppose, even though this is not eligible for replay, that they could overrule the call and change it. They don't need replay for that.
Well, can it be an umpire's challenge or? Wow. I mean, they've got to get, I love the fact that they're taking the time to get it right. Again, a team could be going home here, so take the time to get it right no matter how long it takes.
Ruling on the field is safe. Again, television replay cannot enter in on this play. And the bases will be loaded. Where it hurts Iowa the most, it does not have that second out. Still now is in a force situation at home plate.
Now batting for Missouri, the first baseman, number 10, Levi Lassiter.
Levi Lassiter with a chance to win it. Everybody in close for the Iowa defense. Strike 1. Just love the theater on these games, John. It never changes. Nothing in 2. Can only be one mindset for Kana Duwong, and that is to get a punch out here.
Somehow, that or a pop-up to the infield would be the best case scenario for him.
0-2. 2 outs. Big strikeout. Iowa not out of trouble yet, but this is huge.
Outside corner.
Number 12,
that's what he got. You know, almost situation, the way everything's transpired, you almost want this inning to end and this thing to keep going on and only be fair for everybody.
Kind of Duwong, he'd buy that. Strike 1.
Vanderhaar with an unbelievable performance. 1 earned run goes the distance, and an error may have cost their team. So if they can.
Ball and a strike. Winning run at third base. Each team has scored in the 6th inning after a scoreless game. Epler to second base. Bonus baseball. Great job of Iowa getting out of a bases loaded inning. Good theater, John.
Refresh.
Deserves more theater. On to the extras on the top of the 7th. The first time in this tournament.
There was one Iowa. To the pitching mound, number 22, Brett Court.
A high drama inning for both teams. Each team had a chance to bust it open a bit. They wind up settling for 1. So we go to extra innings in the top of the Iowa 7th. Iowa 1-4-4. Missouri 1-2-3. John, we've had more errors than we had hits in this game.
Wow.
But who cares? Because it has been fun to watch.
The way that last inning, whatever transpired in that, the errors or whatever, I love the fact that we're going extra here, kind of wipe the slate clean, and we'll see what happens from here.
Nebraska, Kansas coming up in an hour and a quarter, just after 4 Eastern time. You know, I would think if your players of both teams, certainly the coaches and fans, you get to exhale now.
Yes, yes, I agree. Webb City was on the verge of losing it on an unearned run. Iowa was going to lose it on a call at first base that was a very difficult call to make, possibly kept the inning alive. So, as I said, refresh or reset, whatever we did, it's I think it's a good thing.
Asking Jace Embry at the play, where would you like to travel? He said, how about Williamsport? Love to get his team there as he strikes out to start the seventh.
Now batting for Iowa, center fielder
Brett Korth now pitching for Missouri. Drew Vonderhaar went 6. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Looked like Matthew McCray got hit in the face. Nobody probably feels worse than pitcher Brett Korth, who went down to his knees on the mound. And as Matthew is being attended to, some ice being applied right now. We'll take a break. With the medical people and family assisting, Matthew McCray Jr. was carried off, being attended to just beyond the dugout. Gosh, we wish him the best. Aiden Bennett will be the pinch runner, and back to the Iowa top of the order, and Connor Duwong. Man, do you hate to see that. Gosh, and how many times have we seen big-time injuries in the big leagues, too?
Yeah.
Line drives back at somebody's skull.
Now batting for Iowa,
broken legs.
pitcher, number 7, Connor Duong.
Hey, got to refocus as a player out there. Not always easy to do, but you got to find a way to do it here.
Brett Korth, since throwing the hit batsman, is now throwing a couple of pitches outside the zone.
Yeah, and it may be toughest on him, too, because he, as you said before, felt as bad as anybody.
Now, obviously, you could tell with Matthew's reaction and the crying that he was conscious. Now, it's just a question as to what type of injury it is. And again, he's being attended to. Towards center field, hit deep. What a catch out in center field by who else? Andrew Young. He's amazing out there.
Wow, look at him hopping around out there, excited. He has been a one-man show out there in center field. He covers a lot of ground, plays a center field as good as any youngster you want to see.
This is the third time that Connor Duong has flown out to him, and he has been robbed at least twice. Game saver. Aiden Bennett continues to be the go-ahead run at first with 2 outs. Now Maddox O'Connor, 1 for 3 with a base hit in the third, 2 for 6 in the regional. Two teams playing for their lives here, trying to stay alive in a tournament. In the Missouri 7th, Hunter Schaal, Sam Weller, Andrew Young.
Young out in center field, just the way he glides to the ball out there, like he's been playing center field since the day he was born.
Two balls and a strike. Matt Cooner, manager, third base coach. See what he does if that runner gets around second base. Count now 3-1. Blake Larson, who started this game on the mound and was terrific. Also got a double and a 6, scored the go-ahead run then, would be next. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And there's that high, I can't lay off of it, fastball. Big pitch. First and second with 2 outs. This almost feels like a championship game here.
Well, for them right now it is. It's elimination, win or go home. And neither one of these teams are even thinking about going home right now.
Blake Larson, 2 hits, 6 at bats in the regional. Spanked that double to lead off the 6th and just missed a home run. Eventually came around to score. That on a throwing error was the lead run. Did not turn out to be the winning run as Iowa gave up 1 in the bottom of the inning. Aiden Bennett for the injured Matthew McCray Jr. running at second. Maddox O'Connor at first. Base hit left field. Runner around third. Here comes the throw to home plate. It's bang, bang. It's late. 2-1 Missouri. And Blake Larson comes through again.
Blake Larson, a guy that has pulled the ball off the right center field wall. We've seen him pull the ball to the right side, uses those long left arms to drive this into left center field on a fastball in the outside corner. Good piece of hitting for him and picks up the RBI.
Winner of this game gets a day off, moves to Thursday in single elimination. To face the winner of Nebraska-Kansas. In Missouri's half of the 7th, it'll be the bottom of the order.
Now batting for Iowa, the third baseman, 18, Brody Watson.
Here's Brody Watson. His team ahead 2-1. Runners at first and third with 2 outs. Insurance run looming for Iowa here. This inning began innocently for Iowa with a strikeout. Then Matthew McCray was hit in the face. Awful moment. He was carted off for immediate attention. Aiden Bennett pinch ran for him after a terrific catch by Andrew Young in center field with the runner still at first. Maddox O'Connor walked. Blake Larson brought home the go-ahead run on a base hit to left field. For John, just the 6th hit of the game. Check that. 5th hit of the game for Iowa. Haven't been many.
Doesn't take a whole lot of hits to be exciting, does it?
Change up. 2-2. Maddox O'Connor running at third. Blake Larson at first. Popped up and out of reach. Hunter Schaal is scheduled to start the last of the 7th for Missouri. Then Sam Weller and Andrew Young if they need to go that far. Brody Watson trying to pick up a key third run here for Iowa.
Place to do that's left center field. Big gap out there. Andrew Young shading toward right field.
Inning over. Blake Larson, who started this game, is not a pitcher of record. No, he certainly became a hitter of record. Scored the first run in the game, drives into second. Missouri, 1 to tie, 2 to win.
Top of the 7th inning, 1 run.
Number 6.
2-1, bottom of the 7th. Hope you enjoyed your 7th inning stretch. In our bonus baseball today, Hunter Shull, who has reached base twice in the regional, once on a hit, will lead off.
Defensive changes.
Then Sam Weller at the top of the order.
Left field, number 1, Aiden Bennett. And
Aiden Bennett, now the left fielder.
Field, number 6, Braden Shutt. Leading off the
Braden Shutt
for Missouri, the catcher. 13,
comes the center fielder.
Hunter Shull.
Aiden Bennett is the left fielder. Connor Duwong, who got out of a monster jam in the last of the 6th, trying now to close it out for Iowa. Mentioned before, John, the winner of this game gets a day off, and they'll need it.
Yes, just from an emotional standpoint, not the physical side of things.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Now Duwong, another guy in this pitching rotation they talked about that can bring it up there pretty good. Feeling good with that fastball now. Had to locate his with the bases loaded.
Base hit on a 1-2 pitch by Hunter Shull. He's the tying run.
Nice battle by Shull at the plate as he gets it just over the shortstop's head. Barely cleared him.
Sam Weller.
And they get something going here now in the bottom half of the inning.
See what the strategy here is by manager Darius Lassiter, the third base coach. Chad Weller's the first base coach for Webb City. And Sam Weller, the coach's son, disappointed he couldn't lay that one down. Strike 1.
He's got Brody Watson, the big third baseman, breathing down his neck. Right now, maybe a good place to bunt this is toward first base, as Larson, the first baseman, playing back behind the runner.
Agreed. Ball a strike.
As close as Watson's playing, if Weller gets anything on this ball at all, it could get by him.
Ball and 2 strikes. Now, do you take the bunt sign off?
I think you do in this situation here. Got to let him see if he can't make contact. Watson, the third baseman, backing up thinking he's going to take it off.
This game almost 2 hours in length into extra innings. Scoreless game to the 6th. Iowa got 1. Missouri tied it. Iowa went ahead in extra innings in the top of this 7th. Missouri with a tying run at first in the bottom. 1-2 pitch. Yeah, oh, by the way, Nebraska and Kansas standing by. So the wind starts to pick up. So in our other elimination game, both Nebraska and Kansas 0-1, chomping at the bit to get a chance, but very likely enjoying the drama in this one. 1 out. Here's Andrew Young. He has been stellar defensively, -1 play.
Fastball, got it by him. We said before, all 3 guys that we've seen on the mound for this Iowa team can bring it up there pretty good. That was a good example.
And Young, beneficiary of the gods, even on an error in the outfield after his throw in, which eventually wound up at third base. A tag on an errant base run bailed him out. In this tournament, Young has an infield hit, 1 for 3, has scored a run, and has struck out twice. Day's 1 for 2. Towards second base. Did they get one? Yes. No, he did not. Off the base. Maddox O'Connor on the catch, and he was off the bag, and we'll see if this gets challenged.
Now the runner was crossing right in front of the face of Stewart out there. You think maybe he could have reached out to tag him, but not the case. Umpire calls him off the bag and still alive.
What do you think, John?
Take a look at it again. Boy, I'm thinking Stewart had to do it over again. You maybe had a chance to reach out and tag the runner.
So Matt Coonard will challenge this play.
And I think that's a right challenge, too, in this situation.
Got to do it.
Got to use what you have.
Well, the lead in this game for Missouri has never happened. For Iowa, the lead at best has been a run, and that's been very precarious. By the way, a round of applause away from our action to Matthew McCray, who is being taken away on a stretcher. He is conscious as we take a look at the replay moments
and I
ago.
think that his foot is on the bag. It
really
looks like the ball was in the glove and his toe was on there at the time. I mean, these umpires have been put in some unbelievable situations here.
And these are volunteer guys.
Wouldn't surprise me if they reverse this call. And not because it's such a bad call. I mean, we're stopping it to see. This may be a better angle too. Ball in glove. Oh, is that foot off the bag?
Call on the field is safe. Now is it going to be a confirm or reversal?
To me, it looks like it's on it there, but I mean, it's inches. It's an inch. If it's off the bag, it may be a ½ inch off there. So
here we go. All eyes for the moment on home plate umpire Scott Rosenberger.
Yep, I think a play that close, you can't make a decision one way or the other. We had it sit there stopped and we couldn't make a decision. You just stay with the call on the field.
Tying run at second, game winner at first. Almost the same scenario as the previous inning for Missouri. Drew Vonderhaar at the plate. He had an important hit back in the 6th. The base hit to center. Double play would win it for Iowa. Extra base hit would win it for Missouri. Slow roller, fair ball. 2 outs. No panic from Alex Stewart. So again, tying one at second, game winner at first, but now 2 away.
It's play by Watson, recognizing runners on first and second there. Make the easy play, just go step on the bag, get the ball first, make that, and then step on the bag for the out. Gets the all-important second out.
Gage Chapman to the plate. He can tie it with a hit.
DeWalk started him with the breaking ball, came back, fastball there. Wouldn't surprise me. Comes back, curveball here.
Two balls, 1 strike.
Got the curveball, just missed inside. Now if you're a hitter 2-1, you're thinking fastball here. Can I turn this thing around?
The 2-1. Now 3-1. A bad one here would load the bases with 2 outs. Hitter's pitch in a dramatic moment. Boom. 3-2. Nice leap by third base umpire Jeff Shuttle. Last of the 7th. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Missouri down to its last strike, trailing Iowa 2-1 in an elimination situation. Both sides are standing. Bases are loaded. Second inning in a row that Gage Chapman has walked.
Boy, it takes a lot to take that pitch there, too. Just off the outside part of the plate. Chapman makes the right call, finds himself down at the bat.
Christian Brock now, John, to the plate. Reached on an error and struck out. Wild pitch or pass ball, error can tie it. So can a hit, which can win it. But there are 2 outs. Up the middle. Game over. Iowa wins in a thriller.
Wow, and maybe one of the toughest balls to try to snag is a shortstop going up the middle. O'Connor snags it, steps on the bag to get the out to end this ball game. Oh my, what an incredibly played baseball game.
Missouri be proud of the regional run, and Iowa will see you later this week.
Easily the best game in the tournament.
That ball gets by him. The game-winning run scores.
Maddox O'Connor with a huge play there and a terrific finish, albeit not a happy one, in the game for Missouri. So Webb City is out and still alive. Grandview Little League from Des Moines, Iowa, and in the meantime, we hope the best for Matthew McCray, carted off with a facial injury of a hit pitch, and hopefully we will see him at the ballpark soon because Iowa is not done. Well, John, take a breath. We're back at 45. Coming up, Nebraska and Kansas. It'll have to go a long way to match this one, though. Missouri wins in extra innings 2-1. Check that Iowa wins at 2-1 in extra innings. We'll see you at 4.